Good afternoon. It's time for yet another NFL Bucky's Mill Day. This is your host, Mike C., with a hurt foot, my toe actually. And the star of the show is always it's Bucky. Say hi, Bucky. Bucky says hi. Bucky, what in the world do you have in front of you today? Well, this is the score sheet that we've been keeping on the wall. Carl has one for the Vikings, of course. And this is the Lions one, obviously. And it's got all the scores. And they won could have been a really big game last night. They beat the Packers in Green Bay. And it was 20-16. And it wasn't the greatest game I've ever seen, but Lions kind of controlled the game, to be honest with you. And defense played pretty well. Offense was good enough. And they basically controlled Aaron Rodgers. So I think the defense played better than the offense. Got a couple interceptions. Kirby got 2 interceptions. Should have had 3. And Hutch got 2 sacks. And they played very well, and they pretty much shut them down and knocked the Packers out of the playoffs. This is after the Lions had already been knocked out of the playoffs because the Seahawks won. Kind of, 6-1, half dozen the other, because the Rams lost, which helped the Lions, draft pick, but they didn't really gain anything. They're 6 overall, and they're 18 because they missed the playoffs. So it's, they didn't really improve any, even though, a couple teams lost, but a couple teams didn't, like the Falcons or the Cardinals and the Colts, things like that. So that really hurt them. So there's 6 overall, and hopefully there'll be some trades for quarterbacks or something to knock them down. If they would have been 5th, it would have been a lot better. But the Texans ended up losing, or winning, so that they lost the number 1 overall pick to the Bears. The Bears might trade out because they get a boatload of picks, maybe like the Colts or somebody, for that first overall pick. So unless there's a run on quarterbacks, Lions, Myles Murphy still could be in play. We'll see. I've seen some mock drafts already. They put corner. I don't think you have to pick corner that early. If Myles Murphy is there, I still would pick him, and then whichever corner is left. There's a lot of great corners. I've seen some pick, Cam Wheat, and there's lots of good cornerbacks to pick from. So I don't think you really have to. Joey Porter's name's come up. I don't think you have to pick him at 6. You might not get him at 18, but I think a very, very good quality corner, plus another good defensive player. Either Myles Murphy, Brian Brisset, or Breezy, how you say his name. Anyway, so that's it for the Lions. So they finished 9-8, like my sign says, and they finished second in the NFC North, ahead of the Packers, obviously, and the Bears are just totally terrible. The Vikings beat them, and Vikings ended up 3rd in the NFC overall, and they'll play the Giants in Minnesota. They get a home game, and Giants are they rested a lot of their players this week, so that could help them. They got a good chance to win. It was very close the last time they played them, and so we'll see. But the Lions, I'm looking at the list here. A lot of their games were 1 point, 3 points, very close. They had a couple blowouts. They lost 29-0 at the Patriots, and they lost. I'm trying to see some other losses. 24-6 to the Cowboys, things like that. But there were a lot of 3-point games or less. Turn one of those around, they could have made the playoffs, but they just missed. But they did knock the Packers out, so that's good. But so very, very good season, very promising. I've heard nothing but good things about them for this year and next year, obviously, and they're heading in the right direction. And I wish the new season started tomorrow, but we got free agency. They're gonna get rid of some players, some deadwood. Michael Brockers comes to mind. OREA is probably gone. A couple other players so we'll see what happens. They're in a pretty good position, and just hear the national media talk well about them is refreshing, to be honest with you. Tonight, now we got the college football championship game, Georgia against TCU. My prediction, I think TCU is going to hang with them for a while, but maybe a half, maybe a quarter. I think Georgia's just too strong, and I think they're going to win back-to-back. And I think, by the second half that Georgia should dominate. That's just my opinion. But I'm picking Georgia to win. And there's some very high-profile players on Georgia and, one or two on TCU. And so we'll see what happens there. But looking forward to that game. The Hawks are just, I hate to talk about them. Actually won a game the other day, but Kane is out. He's injured a little bit, and I don't know what they're waiting for, to be honest with you. But we'll see what happens. Reds I don't even bother with because they're just totally inept right now. What's the other thing I was going to talk about besides that? Okay, let's go to that. Fantasy football season ended, and I have my list here. I could have wrote it a little bigger there, Bucky. But out of the 13 teams, I won I won 5 championships, so I'm very happy about that. Bucky's Mail Day was the best at 13-1. Then I got WRJW number 18. The first round pick, 12-2. They finished first. Hard Times is a great name for a team. They finished 11-3. And Wisconsin Warriors finished 11-3. And Sanders Soldiers finished 9-5, but they still finished first. So, 5 first place winners is great. There was 1 second place, couple thirds, couple fourths, and 2 that didn't, play very well. Finished, 7th or whatever, but that's fine. You can't win all of them. So 5 wins this year, I think is great. That's almost half. You can't complain about that. So I'll be keeping some of these teams for next year. Hard Times definitely. Probably Wisconsin Warriors will be back. Bucky's Mill Day, of course, will be back, plus other favorites. So a good season for fantasy football, and very happy with this year. So that's good news. What else? Anything else? It's beautiful outside today, Bucky. They took some trash out, and it's like 53 out, for January. Can't complain about that. And hopefully it'll stay nice the rest of January. I don't want to see snow again. The snow is pretty, yeah, but I've seen it for 60 plus years. It's not that pretty anymore, and especially with cold temperatures. So you have to shovel, and shoveling's hard for me to do now. So the hell with snow. But like right today, tomorrow it's supposed to be 50s. You can't complain about that, and hopefully it'll stay nice. Only had 2 views last week, but I started late. But hopefully this one will do better. I was hoping last week's would do better, but it didn't. But so I want to do it today, give it as much time as possible, so I'll let you know how that goes. Like I said, I don't really care how people watch or not. It's okay if they do. It's great if they do, but I'm not going to cry about it. And I'm not going to, please please, sign up for my videos about, nah, it's not me, but I do it for me and have fun, and two viewers, obviously it's not getting out there, but I might do a mock draft. Well, I will do a mock draft. I think once all the teams are set for sure. Because right now you're just guessing at the first 18 are solidified. The other ones like So it's kind of, I don't know. At this point, I'd rather just watch than actually do a mock draft. I will do mock drafts. Don't worry about it. But I don't know if I'll do it every week. But we will do them. Don't worry about that. Not too much else to report. Still working downstairs. Gotta get some more stuff. It's kind of hard to start, but we'll get there. But otherwise, I think that's about it, Bucky. Yes, after 11 minutes. All right, so for your host, Mike C, of course, as always. And as always, the star of the show, it's Bucky. Say goodbye, Bucky. Bucky says bye. And congratulations to my teams. I had fun this year doing fantasy football. And I'll do it again next year, of course. And we'll see what happens. With the playoffs coming, wild card weekend, all that good stuff. And good luck to Georgia and TCU tonight. And we'll see what happens. All right, take care, everybody. Bye now.